So we are live. Hello, hello, hello. But शक्ल क्यों नहीं दिख रही है हमारी?
नहीं, वो वही दिखा रहा है 4 आवर्स में।
बट मैंने इंस्टाग्राम पे तो वो डाला है कि अरे यार मैं बट शक्ल क्यों नहीं दिख रही? Now it should be visible. ट्रांजिशन ही नहीं किया था इसके अंदर. But what we can do, we can zoom it a little bit. Ambition.
नो, इट इज स्टिल नॉट शोइंग अस।
दिखा रहा, अब दिखाएगा.
ओह या, नाउ।
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our live stream. However, हमारे पास एक ही व्यूवर है जो हमारा दोस्त है.
एंड उसने भी छोड़ दिया ना।
उसका भी छोड़ दिया. Oh, we have Mohammed Saud. Hello, what's up, buddy? Mohammed, where are you from? कहाँ से हो? क्या कर रहे हो तुम जिंदगी में? अभी क्या उखाड़ना चाहते हो? सीट चेंज करेगा, मुझे उधर बैठने का मन कर रहा है. कैमरा के आगे रहूंगा ना.
ओके।
आ जा. ऑलराइट, तो एक इंट्रोड्यूस कर देता हूँ. ये है मोहम्मद
अब्दुल।
अब्दुल हनान. अभी तो स्क्रीन से बाहर आ गया, इधर आ. हाँ, सो ये मेरा फ्रेंड है हनान. एंड ये भी पीएचडी कर रहा है एआई से रिलेटेड.
मशीन लर्निंग, या।
हाँ, तो तू ही इंट्रोड्यूस कर दे.
हाय गाइस, आई एम हन्नान एंड मैं इंडिया से हूँ, फ्रॉम अलीगढ़। एंड आई एम डूइंग माय पीएचडी इन मशीन लर्निंग फ्रॉम द सेम यूनिवर्सिटी एज शुभम। And yeah, I've been here for almost 1 year now.
1 year, yeah.
And before that, I was in Italy where I did my master's. So yeah,
ओके, दैट्स गुड.
that's pretty
तो
much it.
इससे भी तुम्हें कोई क्वेश्चंस पूछने तो पूछ सकते हैं. बट ऑलरेडी मेरे पास बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस हैं, तो मुझको वो एड्रेस करने हैं बिकॉज दैट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट. एंड आई प्लान कि मैं वो एड्रेस करूँगा ऑलरेडी. तो मोहम्मद, तुम्हारे पास भी कोई क्वेश्चन तो डेफिनेटली चैट बॉक्स में पूछो. पहले तुम्हें ही जवाब दे देंगे, फिर बाद में जो मेरे पास क्वेश्चंस है वो मैं आंसर कर दूंगा.
I'm from. एक मिनट. Can you open it again? I think he had a question.
Okay, okay. Okay, I'm from Pakistan and applying for PhD in chemistry in US. Okay, in US, देख US में है ना. बट व्हाट्स योर बेसिक क्वेश्चन, व्हाट डू यू वांट टू नो फॉर यूएस? क्योंकि यूएस में जब पीएचडी के लिए अप्लाई वगैरह करते हैं ना, तो उसके अंदर ओवरऑल जो तुम्हारा पैकेज है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट करता है. नॉट जस्ट योर रिसर्च, क्योंकि यूएस के अंदर 5 साल की पीएचडी होती है या फिर 6 साल की, जो भी होता है. मतलब 5 साल का तो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर होता है, जिसके अंदर 2 साल तुम्हें कोर्स वर्क वगैरह करना पड़ेगा. फर्स्ट ईयर कोर्स वर्क करना होता है, फिर बाद में सेकेंड ईयर में काइंड ऑफ एक ट्रांजिशन होता है. तुम लैब वगैरह ज्वाइन करते हो, अच्छे से काम वगैरह करते हो, और फिर बाद में तुमको एक काइंड ऑफ एक प्रेजेंटेशन देनी पड़ती है कि हाँ, तुम अपने जो पीएचडी जो स्टार्ट करोगे उसके अंदर ये काम करने वाले हो सेकेंड ईयर के बाद में. तो थर्ड ईयर से तुम्हारा प्रॉपर पीएचडी वर्क वगैरह स्टार्ट होता है. तो ऑलरेडी तुम स्टार्ट तो फर्स्ट ईयर में ही कर देते हो, बट जो स्पेसिफिकली बोलते हैं पीएचडी स्टार्ट हो रही है वो थर्ड ईयर के बाद, सेकेंड ईयर के बाद में होता है. एंड एक एडवांटेज ये है यूएस का, बहुत सारे लोग इंडिया में ऐसे जिनको रिसर्च एक्सपीरियंस नहीं हो रखा है, जिन्होंने लैब वगैरह विजिट नहीं करी है, या फिर जो जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स वगैरह वो यूज़ ही नहीं करे उन्होंने, तो वो यूएस के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. अब यूएस में जब तुम अप्लाई कर रहे हो, तो जो बेसिक डॉक्यूमेंटेशंस वगैरह है उसका ध्यान रखना बहुत अच्छे से. हर एक चीज़ लिखना, जैसे मोटिवेशन लेटर वगैरह होता है वो बहुत अच्छे से लिखना, क्योंकि उसके अंदर ओवरऑल हर एक चीज़ को देखेंगे. वो रेफरेंस लेटर्स को भी देखेंगे, मोटिवेशन लेटर को भी देखेंगे, तुम्हारे ग्रेड्स को भी देखेंगे, तो हर एक चीज़ को कंसिडर करेंगे. तो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन इज मस्ट. जर्मनी में अगर तुम आते हो तो दो चीज़ बहुत मस्ट होती है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे मेनली कवर लेटर देकर भी काम चल जाता है. अगर मोटिवेशन लेटर नहीं मांगा है तो कवर लेटर दोगे, वो तो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर होता है, तो वो लिख दोगे. और साथ में फिर बाद में अगर तुम्हारे पास बहुत सारा एक्सपीरियंस हो रखा है ऑलरेडी, तुमने 1-2 पेपर लिखे हुए हैं, तो तुम्हारा एक एज मिल जाता है कि हाँ, इस बंदे को ऑलरेडी एक्सपीरियंस है. तो वो जो 2 साल की स्टडी होती है ना बिगिनिंग में यूएस में, तो वो चीज़ काइंड ऑफ कट करके 3 साल की पीएचडी बोल देते हैं यहाँ पे.
Yeah, I also want to add one thing on what Shubham mentioned. See, the main difference between a PhD in US and anywhere in Europe is that in US, when you're doing PhD, you do it as a student. So
Huh.
you're enrolled by the graduate school and you do it in the form of a student. When
Yes.
you're doing it in Germany or anywhere in Europe, I'm not sure about all the places, but in places like Norway, Sweden, and Germany, when you're doing PhD, you are working on a research project as a researcher and as a scientist. So basically, you are not enrolled in the graduate school, but you are hired by the university. So in that, you have a funding for 3 years or 4 years, depending on the project.
Mm-hmm.
And in most of the cases, you don't have to go through coursework and those kind of things. And the downside of that is ki, whenever you're getting a PhD or you're finding a PhD, it has to be super relevant to your previous work and previous experience. I'll give you an example. If you want to do a PhD in US in chemistry, so assuming you want to switch to machine learning and like chemistry with some sort of computer science and AI, you can easily do that in US, because when you'll go there, you have to do 1 year of coursework where they will make you study all these things. But if you want to do the same thing in Germany, it is very difficult, because the professor would only hire you if he thinks that you are a very good fit for that particular research project. And if you are not completely aligning to the requirements, then you won't be getting hired. So that is one downside. The good side with that is, for example, for me, I do not have to do any coursework. So from the day one of my PhD, I started my research work and I was working on paper and all those things that I'm doing. So these are like trade-offs. So if you're going to US, you have a lot of time to study and get up to speed on things that you don't have, that you're not very confident in. And if you're doing it in Germany, then yes, you can directly start working on the project that you have. So yeah.
इसने है ना चैट में लिखा था मुझे, जब मैंने इसको इनवाइट किया था, इसने बोला था जो लाइव स्ट्रीम है वो हिंदी में होगी ना.
There was this guy who said that, hello brother Samuel. So I thought maybe he's from like non-English speaking,
but
non-Hindi speaking. So
yeah,
I
it
switched to English.
feels like hello brother. It's okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. But
because for me, Hindi is my comfort language, and I always prefer to speak in Hindi. But because I just wanted
if
to
someone
make
is,
sure.
if some
Yeah.
that makes sense. If someone is from outside and he wants to see our live stream, that makes more sense. Samuel, Mohammed, and Shubangi, hello to everyone. If you have any questions, please drop down in chat box. We will definitely reply them, because less viewer, less competition. That's similar as PhD. Less competition, you will have more chances to get PhD position at somewhere. Because I have a few questions listed here. Oh, that's your phone. Yeah. So बहुत सारे लोग ये पूछ रहे थे मेरे को कि मोहम्मद, तुम्हारा जो क्वेश्चन तो पूछो क्या चीज़ है. यू आर फाइंडिंग PhD इन केमिस्ट्री इन USA, बट व्हाट एक्चुअली वांट टू नो, लाइक ऑल द प्रोसेस, व्हाट यू वांट टू डू और दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टफ. क्योंकि उसके अंदर जैसे इसने बोला कि यहाँ पे एज ए एम्प्लॉय हायर करते हैं, वहाँ पे एज ए स्टूडेंट हायर करते हैं. क्योंकि इंडिया में भी सेम सीन है, बट इंडिया में बस यही प्रॉब्लम है, लैब्स वगैरह में थोड़ी सी फंडिंग का कंपटीशन होता है. तो वो चीज़ अगर सेटल हो जाए तो US और इंडिया के PhD में इतना कुछ बड़ा डिफरेंस नहीं होगा, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. एंड
Okay, fine. Across Europe. Okay. So I think I'll add one thing, then maybe Shubham can add on that.
yeah, sure.
So if you want to find a PhD in Germany, there is a website called Euraxis, and you find most of the positions there. Secondly, because I told you you're hired as an employee here, so the best place to find PhD positions is on the job portal of the universities or the school. So for example, you can go to Google and just type University of Kiel jobs. When you go to the job portal, you will have a section which will mention scientific staff, because PhD students or like PhD is considered as a scientific staff. So there you have to search what are the different available positions over there. Similarly, you can search for, let us say, Netherlands. If you want to apply to University of Twente, you just write in Google University of Twente jobs. So they will tell you the ongoing projects that are actively hiring at that particular moment. The other thing is you can directly write to the supervisor and at times they also have their own funding, which is in the form of a scholarship, and then they can also offer you that, but in that case they hire you as a student. So I think that is a different conversations, because in Germany you can do PhD either as a student, where you get a scholarship or a stipend, and then the other thing is where you are hired by some research project or by some sort of government funding, in which you are employed as a employee by the university. So there are like these two different things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as he already mentioned, job profiles, you can definitely visit to the universities. After university, the websites, Uraccess, JIC mailing list, or there are so many, plenty of websites. You just need to search them, or you can go to that portal from where you directly get the scholarship. Or many universities has their own programs, so you can also try to find some specific program where you can go and apply to that program so that you can have the scholarship or funding, whatever you need. But the main thing is you anyway need to find supervisor. Supervisor is the only thing, like, is the first thing you should be looking for. If you find a supervisor, then supervisor will tell you all the options, that where you can apply for the funding or this kind of stuff, or where the supervisor already get the funding from, or where supervisor think you can apply here and you can easily get the funding, because supervisors have this kinds of information. So first look for the supervisor, and then other things will come on the way. And other than that, you can definitely apply on the job portals, which he mentioned already.
Yes.
So your profile is your BS CGPA 3.5. Okay, this CGPA 3.5, I don't know out of which, like out of 5 or out of 4, 3.5, or out of.
I think that is GPA maybe, because CGPA is usually on a scale of 10, I guess.
Yeah, but he wrote CGPA.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
According
According to
to my profile.
my profile, which country should I choose? Okay, I didn't read it properly, but you retracted the message. I guess you can apply to US. That's not a big deal. Make a nice profile, have good reference letters and good motivation letter. You can definitely apply there.
Okay, so I'll just add one thing. If you want to find a position in Europe, in most of the cases, the only thing that matters is how closely your previous work aligns to the project that you're applying on. So, just to give an example, if you're working on LLMs or large language models, GPT, they want to know you know what machine learning is, and you need to have at least one paper or some prior work in their field, because no one is going to sit and teach you over there. They assume you already know, let us say, 40-50% of the things, and then from that point on you can learn. So that is the major thing. If you're doing it in the US, then it really doesn't matter, because there you have to do the coursework. So you will be funded through a lab, and then they will tell you, okay, go for 1 year, study these courses, and then come back again, and then we'll start working on the research project. So yeah, in Europe you have to find out the project or the supervisor whose work closely aligns with your topic. Another major thing, in Germany, your supervisor has the whole control over your PhD. So he is the one who would be approving or rejecting your thesis eventually after 3 or 4 years. So you really need to make sure that under which supervisor you're working, you guys really go along pretty well. Because if you piss off your supervisor, then I think you can never get your PhD
Done,
finished.
yes,
Yeah.
that's true. You should not piss off your supervisors.
Yeah.
That's common ethics for all working groups. It's not just PhD. It's like everywhere. And also, you said it's out of 4. I mean, in that terms, your CGPA is really good. 3.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that counts really good. If you don't have much experience in research experience, if you have not published paper, if you're not published paper, that's completely fine. That's not a big deal, because paper is not the important thing. The important thing is, do you have the experience or not? If you have written a thesis, that's also counted like you have some scientific writing. So if you don't have experience, too much of experience, you can apply to USA, or there is one more option. If you just want to come to Europe, if you have some little bit of experience, you can apply to internship first here in Germany or in any European country, and then follow it by PhD. You can ask in the same lab, oh, I have completed my master's, I want to continue in your lab, so maybe why not to do PhD? Because there are so many people, so many professors who look for the master thesis student so that they can teach everything whatever happening in their lab during the master thesis, and then they can continue their PhD after the master thesis. So this is the way what other supervisors also try to do, and you can take a chance like this in Germany. But if you have really good CGPA and if you have good research references, go for US, no worries. US is also a good place for research. It's just that their competition is high. There, this you have to pay for everything. That's only a thing. So if money is not a big deal, go for US. You will get funding almost as much you need. It's not like you will get like really huge amount in US. It's just as much you will need for living for a month or for a year or the whole duration of your PhD.
I think in most of the programs in US they don't ask for GRE right now, and
Yeah, they just ask for TOEFL, but
for
keep that in mind.
publications they say that okay, if you have it is good, and if you don't have, it's not a deal breaker. So yeah, and I just want to mention one thing, just like Shubham mentioned. So when I was in Italy, I was doing my master's over there. Then I came to Germany for 6 months to complete my master thesis. And while I was working at this lab where I'm doing my thesis, right, my PhD right now, after completing my thesis, they offered me a PhD position right away. That we know you, we worked with you for 6 months, and we want you to do a PhD on this particular topic. So that was really easy. And if I had applied without this master thesis thing, then I would be a completely outsider to these guys, and then it would have been much more difficult for me to get a position, because in that case it's a gamble. They don't really know who I am, and if they hire me, then it's going to be a tricky situation for them, because it might turn out to be good, it might not. But because I did my thesis there, they saw me over the period of the 6 months, and then they were pretty happy that okay, I think you can do it, and we'll hire you as a PhD. So yeah, that is one thing.
Yeah. Okay. Now maybe I can reply to a few comments, which I generally get on YouTube, because I feel this is my responsibility. If I'm getting some comments, I should reply them. So first is like, one is from Alia Sheikh. She said like, "Hi Saurabh. First of all, my name is Shubham." Hi Shubham, I'm near to complete my first year of MSc Organic Chemistry. Want to pursue PhD in Germany, funded fully. Don't know where and how I can start my procedure. From finding research topic and other stuff, please reply. Okay, so it has two parts. First is from where she can find the Germany fully funded PhD. I have made a video. You can look in detail how to find PhD. So we will not answer this one, but I also have a video. I have a video how I can start the procedure, like very beginning first steps. So you can just look for that. But we can put some eyes on like how she can choose a topic.
Right.
Because she's confused, like she doesn't know how to choose a topic for the PhD. I have completed my master thesis in Pakistan. So
I
how
will
should
answer this later. Yeah.
Okay, so first maybe we can answer Alia, and then
Yeah,
we can
right.
just do them. So for finding the research topic, I hope you have done at least something in organic chemistry. If you have not done anything in organic chemistry, as my suggestion, go and do any lab, just join it, because mainly organic chemistry has same principles. First you have to synthesize something, and then you have to purify that thing, and then finally you have analysis part. So organic has three important steps which you have to do, like synthesis, analysis, and then synthesis, purification, analysis in organic chemistry. And if you do it like properly in one lab, you kind of get the basic idea how the things works, how the methodology works. And there are so many keys, so many different variations how you can do the different synthesis or different purification, different analysis, and you will learn in that one lab. When you do something in that lab, then you get the basic idea, okay, of what's happening in this field, because during that lab you will be reading lots of research papers, and that will give you some idea. Then on basis of those research papers, you will know what's your interest, and then you will incline towards that, because mainly people go for medicine chemistry, It has more application impact because, yeah, of course, medicines, duh. And, and second, people go for polymer chemistry. That's also a good field because it has more industrial applications. So if you have not started anything, I recommend go for any organic chemistry field where it has more industrial applications, because it will be more helpful for you in future to find a really good job. Industry definitely provides you really well salary, and if you go for PhD, if you go for some research, then definitely your salaries are limited a little bit because uh, they don't have funding. That's it. Okay, if you want to address Muhammad, you can definitely go for it.
I've already completed master's in Pakistan, so how should I contact Professor Europe for research?
You can
So
read louder
yeah,
so that it goes in mic. Yes.
yeah. So basically, you simply have to find out the professors who are working on that particular topic in which you've already worked. And the first thing is you have to decide that if you still want to work on the topic that you worked on during your master thesis. In case you don't want to work on that, then you have to see if you have any prior research experience or any kind of prior experience in which you can apply. Assume I'm a professor and I get your application that okay, you sent me this application and you tell me I want to work on your topic. Then I would be looking out that okay, if I hire you, could you work on this topic for the next 3 years or not? Because if that was the case in US, I would hire you very easily because I know that I'll send you to do some coursework and you would come back after 1 year and then you can start working on that. But in case of but here in Germany or in Europe, it usually does not work like that. So you have to contact supervisors by just going on the website and seeing who is working in that particular field. Then we have another question. Hello, bro. I have
Second semester. So yeah, I read it. Maybe I can answer this one. My key answer is: are you interested in doing thesis outside India? If you have some experience and if you are interested to do master thesis outside India, apply like one semester before, completely one semester before, at least 6 months before when you want to go. Or you can apply like 6 7 start 8 months, and after 2 3 months you get the habit of applying, and if you get some idea like how the things work, and then before 6 months the real journey starts, and then the professor will reply you, then there will be some interview. After interview they will be like replying you after 2 3 weeks. Oh, you got selected, and if you got selected, then there will be other processes like the visa stuff, the university stuff. So it's like lots of hassle. So try to apply like 7 8 months before, so that you have clear idea. And if you are just applying for the PhD, not master thesis, same, apply at least 1 year back. That's it. And I am also interested in medicinal chemistry. Yeah, go for medicinal chemistry. It's really nice field because it has lots of industrial applications. I think I like this question a little bit. You can Aniket.
I'm a research assistant at ISC.
ISC.
I'm assuming that's Bangalore, and
Yes.
the 6 7 months, and I'm 28 years old, and I want to start a PhD. Will it affect? No, it won't affect.
Actually, I like this question a lot because here, whoever I'm finding, I am the youngest, I'm 25-year-old, and here I find no one like 25, 26, 27. Only
I'm 24.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. 24, 25, 26
Exactly.
is not the normal age here. Here people are doing PhD at 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 like this. Because what they do here in Germany, the study culture is completely different. Firstly, they do 10 years of normal schooling. Then they have 3 years of studies. And before this 3 years of study, a few students just take 1 year of gap. They go for travel. They do some stuff. One year is gone. Then they start their 11th and 12th. And they generally have a special name for this. It's called like some Arbitor and this kind of stuff. So they have different schools, high schools or whatever you want to call. On basis of this, they continue their higher education. Then they do say BSc, and in bachelors. In bachelors also, they don't finish in just three years. They sometimes like 3.5 years, 4 years. Then they finish their bachelors. After that, they say, okay, maybe after bachelors, let's do some job. So then they do a job like for 1 year or 2 years. and then they do their masters, then their PhD. So it's a whole big process. They don't start PhD like us, like
Right.
after right after completing our masters. So age is not a big deal here. Although you will, I think you will amalgamate between this culture much easier, because I feel a little bit of problem to talk with people who are like 30, 31,
Yeah.
and I think you will have same sort of understanding with each other, so it will be easier for you. Do you want to
Exactly.
add some points?
No, he's absolutely right. And one of the thing is, my supervisor also told me that I'm the youngest PhD student that he's ever hired in the
Yeah.
research group. So I think 28, 29, 30 is normal, and that shouldn't be a problem. Now, because you mentioned molecular biology, I just remember a few days ago I got an email from the from our graduate school or graduate center that in the molecular biology they just got a project approved and they have 7 PhD positions open. So if you message him later on, I can share the link with him, and you can apply, or I can just tell the name right now. It is called translational evolutionary research, and they have 7 different open doctoral positions, so you can just check it out, and if that works for you. Secondly, you mentioned that sometimes the skills don't match because you've already been working as a scientific, as a research assistant. I think that wouldn't be a problem in that case, because they will see that they want to see if you have the capability of switching and transitioning and learning something new. So they want to see your whole profile. They will have an interview with you and they will ask you a few things, and then they want to see if you have that mindset of learning something new and moving on, or you would say, no, I don't know this and I'm scared of it and I don't want to look into it. So that is what they really see, that if I bring him on, would he be able to adapt to those new things like the interdisciplinary stuff, or he won't be able to do that? So I
Yeah.
think it shouldn't be a problem. And anyways, there's only one way to find out. You have to apply and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the best for that.
So yeah, Anikesh, maybe reply. You can just text me on Instagram, like, hey, I want this thing, and I will just forward you all the details, whatever he is giving me, and that's not a problem. And maybe I can just go for once. Also, sometimes the skills. Yeah, I will also want to add some point on this, because I also feel in this way, because I also didn't had same. My research experience was not same where I did my internship. It was completely different. It was completely new setup for me. So I was just exploring what the things are. Or obviously, a few people were there who taught me what things are what. So I think skill set, it should be somewhere close. It should not be identical, or it should not be equivalent. If it's somewhere close and they know that okay, you will understand it completely in say 1 year or something like this, they will definitely hire you. It's not a big deal. And also keep that in mind. It's definitely there is some competition. If they find someone who has like similar skill set, they will definitely prefer this guy. Or also the nature of the person also depends a lot, so they will kind of try to evaluate on basis of everything.
One thing I want to add another point to this, that when I started my PhD or my thesis, I was nowhere related to the work that these guys do. So I work at the Institute of Geosciences and I work on uh, solid mechanics and elastodynamics, seismic wave modeling, and those kind of things. My background is from mathematics. I did my BSc in mathematics in India, then I did my master's in computer science. So I never saw those equations, those tensor equations, and wave equations, and those kind of things. So but these guys saw that when I was here during my masters, I was able to learn those things over a period of 6 months, and I was able to apply them and solve them using machine learning. So that also really depends, that they want to see if you have the mindset of learning it and if you can do it or not.
Yes.
It is not like a very hard and fast rule that you need to know everything, then only they hire you. It is like a holistic approach that they take on this whole hiring process.
Yeah, because every researcher has their own expertise. They are like completely different from each other, so they can't find the perfect match. If they find, they will definitely hire them.
Right.
Or they try to make that person the perfect match. That's it. And how I can improve my CV during my MSc. Okay, attend lots of conferences. Try to attend a few conferences. If you can present poster, that will be great. If you win a prize in some poster presentation, that's also good. Try to go for some workshops. If there are some workshops, attend them. It will show that you have some interest in this field and you are willing to put some efforts for your PhD. So it's like you're just putting efforts for the research, and that's how they will know that your CV is better than other person. And if you can publish something, of course, it's like a one step up, and they will prefer you.
And everyone has their different story because for example, I came on a completely different route. Like I came from Erasmus, then I came here. I had no other background. Shubham came directly from India on an internship, and then he got his position here.
Yeah.
If we brought a third person over here, he would tell us that, okay, no, I just applied and they hired me.
Yes, exactly.
So everyone has a different story because you are directly hired by your supervisor, and it really depends on how that supervisor is. Maybe he doesn't want to hire people from a certain country, then no matter how good you are, he won't be hiring you. Maybe he wants someone who has worked on that field for like 5 years, then no matter how good your CV is, he won't be hiring you. So this is like a very person to person varying thing, and everyone would have their own different story. So it cannot be like generalized that if you follow these 5-6 steps, then for sure you're gonna get a position.
One more really interesting thing which I have noticed from like 2-3 supervisors, not like its statistic is not big. It's just like I heard it from a few people. Like there are few supervisors who like Indian Chinese students, Indian or South Asian or Asian students, because they put lots of efforts for their PhD. They try to work like even little longer than the working hours, because here everything is fixed on the contract. So a German PhD student, not all, but in general, I have seen it. Although they are really productive. I must say this thing: they are really productive, but they try to work on the fixed working hours. If they have said like 20 hours per week, then they will just work 20 hours per week, not more than that. But on contrast, there are so many in like Indian, Pakistani, Sri Lankan or Asian students. They are like their project is running, their experiment is running. They will put more efforts and they will try to work a little bit more, not
right.
like really vast hours or anything like this. Maybe 1 hour or 2 hour more. So it's like this. So they also prefer like Indian or Chinese students. And also I have seen like specifically my university, Kiel University, they are trying to approach international students. They want to make it more diverse.
Right.
This is also a thing. There are so many universities like Hamburg, Berlin, or they have like vast international background.
Right.
But there are so many universities who has like the private, like the just German background. So their efforts are like now they are transitioning from German studies to the English studies, and also they are kind of trying to hire lots of international students, or they want lots of admission from international students. So that's also a thing.
And a major reason for that is because a university's ranking is also like the number of international students and researchers. It plays an important role in the ranking of a university. So they really want to hire and attract people from international like all the international students. Secondly, Germany is also becoming very researcher friendly these days, and if you are skilled, if you're working as a researcher, then they really respect you here. And by respect, I mean you get a different kind of researcher visa. I think we both are on that.
Researcher
and
visa.
With researcher visa, you get a lot of benefits. For example, you can bring your family in here. If you want to bring your spouse in the future, they do not have any sort of language requirement. Like they don't have to know German. In other cases, if you want to bring your spouse, they need to have a certain A1 level of German language requirement. So Germany is a good place to be right now because they're quite friendly, and with all that going in the US, I think Germany is in a very good situation
in terms of research. Because there are so many fields where Germany is like not trying to hire, but research is a field where Germany is trying like to get more and more people.
Yes, Anikesh, I was talking about that group only. I think they are doing it in collaboration with Max Planck Institute or something like that. So yeah, that's the right one. Another thing that I want to add here is in terms of supervisors in Germany. I'm not sure how it is with Shubham, but this is the case with me. uh, Most of the supervisors here, they do not micromanage you, and they will never check up on you, and it was a huge blunder for me, and I was really stressed out in the beginning because I'm Indian,
Yes.
and I am used to someone being after me
Like,
with a stick that you have to do this. Tell me, what are you doing now? What is your status? And I came, and he was like, he just gave me a big office, a big room, and he gave me whatever I wanted, but he never checked up on what I was working on.
yeah.
So that was really difficult because they trust you that okay, you will be working, and when you need some help, you will go to them. They never come to you. He will never come and micromanage you that okay, what did you do this week? What did you do here? Because they think that you have to become an independent researcher, and if they spoon feed you at this moment, then you won't be able to become independent researcher later on in your life. So my supervisor was very clear about it in the beginning that I'm not going to ask you anything. You have to come to me, and I am the one who will be learning from you, and not the other way around. Like you have to come and teach me. That he said, if you need any problem, I can come help you. We can always talk. But you are the one who would be working, and this PhD is your PhD. So you have to be the one working, and it won't be me.
Yeah,
So,
it's like a big shock for me also,
Yeah.
because in beginning I was like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and in master thesis there was a PhD student who was telling me like, oh, you have to do this and you have to do that. So I was just following his instructions, and during my master thesis I remember like I have made like lots of big, not too big mistakes, but kind of big mistakes, because one PhD said something literal, and I did the literal job, and the scale was so less. So I have made a few blunders. So if you want to be an independent researchers, you have to like read on your own, plan your own, and then supervisor will be just guiding you like, okay, maybe this is, because there is also a thing like supervisors also don't know like how this project can go like at a big scale. So they want you to show them like, oh, this can go at this stage, and then he will be like maybe calibrating you like, okay, maybe expect this, not like huge or this kind of stuff.
And do not only ask you to do research. So for me, I'm also writing research proposals for future projects in a lab. So I don't think so. Usually, when you're a PhD student, you do those kind of things. So he told me that I'm giving you these things so that you learn how to write these project proposals and how these things work. So I applied for a few. They got rejected. We got the reviewers' comments, and then he told me that my goal is not to get these accepted, but rather to make sure you learn that how these kind of things are done, and how you're supposed to write a project proposal and what they are actually looking for.
Yeah.
So maybe you would write 4 or 5 of them, and then maybe after that. So how this would help me is, if I get one of the projects approved, and when I'm done with my PhD and I'm applying for, let us say, a postdoc position, I could write that during my PhD I wrote this project and I got it approved. And I have the project writing skill, because most of the postdocs, they do these project writing kind of things in their positions.
I mean, even for when you are doing postdoc, you have to write a proposal, because you also have to arrange funding.
Right.
So to arrange funding, you have to write a proposal. That's an important thing. And when I was doing my internship, I wrote a proposal to my supervisors. Oh, I need to do this project. My supervisor told me, oh, you have to do a project, so you have to write a project proposal for me. So although it was not like a big 30-page or 40-page proposal, it was just 4 or 5 page proposal, but it was a nice start for me, where I wrote a nice proposal, and he was really happy for that. So I was glad. And another
maybe we
question.
can take those questions. I think we've answered most of them from here. Can you publish a research paper during MSc? Yes, you can.
Yeah,
definitely
there are
publish.
so many people who do. The only difference is like there are so many people who do publish in less H-index. Yeah. So I mean, you can definitely publish anywhere. It will be considered as a good score. Don't add music. भैया प्लीज बता दीजिए भाई मेरा काम नहीं है. Hi, hey bhaiya. So this is from Tobnaz. he or she is saying, "Hey Bhaiya, I want to know about the PhD in literature from Germany. Can you help us to know what is the scope of getting PhD in literature?" I have talked with Ariba.
Arriba.
She's a linguist PhD. So literature and I think linguist, it has some difference.
Yeah.
So she has said, from a linguist PhD student, I have get this answer, that literature is not going good. If you are really good at literature, then maybe you will have nice scope. Otherwise, it's little difficult job.
Right.
That's it.
I just have so yeah, Anikesh, you can that is definitely a good idea. So you can just send him a cold email with the reference that a very short, brief one, that hey supervisor, hi professor, I'm XYZ and I worked at ISC for this project for this long. I came across the advertised positions and I would like to discuss the position and to see if our skills and our interests they align, and if I might be a good fit for this position. In most of the cases they will tell you that, see, we can have this conversation, but it again depends on, I cannot give you a decision until I get the whole application, but this would be a good way. So if he gets this application, he would actually know that okay, this guy applied and I know him. So yeah, that would be a good idea. I actually did that when I was applying for PhD last year. I had a conversation with a professor from University of Hamburg. We had, let us say, a 15-minute chat, and then he said, okay, I think you're a good fit for the position and you should apply for it. And I applied for it and I got rejected. So
it was same for me in
exactly.
US. I had such a nice conversation with this professor. Although she was new, she was assistant professor. She just joined like 3-4 years back, so that's why she didn't had much power. But we had really nice conversation. We talked for like 1 hour. So I think 1 hour is a
Right.
big number. So, and also there's one more thing, like if you are talking with a professor and if he's he holds some power in the university, so he will be the one of the person who will be reviewing the applications. That's also a thing, because whoever under whom I am working, he's the head of the group, like the physical chemistry group. So if I apply for some position in physical chemistry, eventually all the applications will go to him.
Right,
So
right.
that's how he will also have a bit of preference to me. So you can keep that things in your mind.
So yeah, Anikesh, definitely you should reach out to them. But even if he says yes, that doesn't mean that you're definitely in, and you should always keep options open for
Yeah.
Other projects as
Yeah,
well.
they can just keep a recommendation of you, like, oh, this is this guy, I have talked with him, he's really nice,
Yeah.
you should consider him. They will just say this thing.
Right.
They will not be putting lots of efforts. If they find you really good, then they will definitely put lots of efforts.
Because I see this translational evolutionary project or the group, I think they have different partners, and when there is a project distributed among different partners, they all have to be on the same page when hiring the researchers.
Yes.
Because you also do these exchange kind of things where you might be visiting other center for a few weeks or a few months to do some lab work
Yeah.
and those kind of things. So yeah.
Okay. Uh, so there's one random like PPB, I don't know. Bro, you mentioned part-time jobs. Is it required for STEM PhD students too? Are PhD programs not fully funded? What percentage of program are funded? Is blocked account required for PhDs too? So there are so many questions. First, if you are getting a PhD in Germany, it's not necessary that you will get funded, but generally every supervisors, they try to give you some funding or this kind of stuff, funding or scholarship. There are a few people who are willing to do the self-funded PhD. So it's like they will say, oh, we have some money, so we can just spend our own money, but for lab equipments I expect that you will provide me money, or this kind in this sense they make a pack. And some students, they don't need to do part-time jobs. And in Germany also, if you want to do part-time job, it's really difficult job if you're already getting a scholarship or a salary. Because we have when we got a visa, we have a thing written on our residence permit or visa that you're not allowed to work outside university. So that's also a thing. If you get some things in university, that will be fine. Otherwise you will need to get different working permit. Then you can do whatever you want to do, but you will have to go through this bureaucratic stuff.
Yeah, so one thing I'll just add on to what Shubham said. When you are doing a PhD on a student residence permit or a student visa, you can do part-time jobs. But the downside is that visa won't be counting towards your immigration period or
Yes.
the period for PR. And that won't be a work permit, but that would be a student permit. So you cannot bring your family, you cannot bring your spouse later in the future if you want to do that. With the researcher visa, you get these benefits, but the downside is on your visa they write that you are only allowed to work at this certain institution. So you could do any kind of job like a research assistant or those kind of things, but you cannot do part-time jobs with that visa. So the problem with me was when I came, I'm still on a stipend, like on a scholarship and not on a salary position. So I get very little amount, not the full 5,000 euro kind of thing. So
It's not 5,000, it's 4,000 euros is a full PhD salary
position.
before tax. After taxes, 100% is
2800.
2,900 something.
Yeah, something
But
around
now
that.
the inflation is there. That's why they also increase some salary.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it goes to 3,000.
Right.
And then, but they keep this in mind that when you get a position here, you get salary according to TVL level 13.
13.
And it's like 50%, 65%, 70% percentage of the salary.
Right.
You don't get 100% of salary for all fields. Mainly there are so many engineering fields or some upcoming fields which are really important for like kind of professors or no the research.
Right.
So they kind of give sometimes 100% of the salary, but most of the fields they generally get like 65%, 70% of the salary.
In most of the cases, computer science and engineering and medicine, these guys they get 100%, and remaining of these they get 75 or 80%.
Or 50%.
Or 50.
50% is the minimum which you get.
And the main reason why they did this was that if someone graduated from their masters and they go to do a job, an engineer would be getting 6,000-7,000 euros a month very easily.
Yeah.
So there is no way they would leave that and come to do a PhD for 2,000 or 3,000 euros.
Yes.
So that is the reason why they give 100% to some certain fields where they might be getting more than that when they go out in the job market.
And this is also a thing, like there are so many chemistry graduates, so they want also, this is a reason what my supervisor told me, that like the German government, there are so many chemistry graduates, they want to distribute that money to everyone, so for that they need to kind of make some this 50% cut.
Right.
Any case, that's not a problem. We are here to clear
Just
your
keep
doubts.
asking your questions.
But
Yeah.
we are excited because you're asking questions. If this chat box is empty, of course we are feeling like low. So don't worry
There
about
is a
this.
question: how do we decide a PhD topic? We have very little exposure during MTech or MSc. So you do not decide the PhD topic.
You
There is-
decide the field.
You decide the field. You find out. You apply, and once you apply on a research project, you start working on it. You get the funding from that project, and it is not necessary that you write your PhD thesis on that topic only. You could do it on any other topic. So the project on which you're funded gives you the money to sustain.
Yes.
PhD topic could be anything else. So maybe you could be doing your PhD topic on machine learning, but you could be working on some other things, maybe engineering problems, or you get a project for some different thing. So that is the main thing over here, that your PhD thesis could be anything, and what you are getting the funding is a completely different topic.
I think that's not a thing. Like professors tries at least one publication to go.
No,
for
that
the-
is because that is a requirement of the project, that
Yes.
in the deliverables they say that okay, we want 3 publications or 5
Yes.
publications out of that.
Yes, and legally it's not allowed that professor can share this money to for something else, because they will need to provide some proof that
Right.
they have used this much of money for this project, not for anything else. So just
Yeah, right.
just understand what he's saying. Okay, so maybe what percentage of programs are funded? Is blocked account required for PhDs too? So blocked account is not required for PhDs because you get different visa for PhD, and in that there's nowhere written that you need a blocked account unless you are doing self-funded PhD or something like this, if you are getting some salary or if you're getting some scholarship, you just need to show that proof to the consulates that, oh, you are getting a scholarship, you are getting a PhD, or you have the work contract, and that will be enough for the as a proof, because they want to make sure that you will able to sustain in this country without their help, because there are so many people here who come for asylum and they don't do anything.
Yeah, and then they just
they get the free money from the German government, and
Right,
that's not the right thing. They want to save their money for their own country, they can't give asylum to everyone, so they also try to keep this in their mind.
In a way, they end up becoming a liability on the government.
Yes, exactly. So they don't want this.
How can I convey my motivation or cover letter?
Louder.
How can I convey in my motivation letter, SOP, or the cover letter that I am missing piece of his lab brothers? Can you explain this structurally? I think before that, it would be better if you just spoke with him, maybe set up a quick call, and you get to know what the expectations of the project are, and how you could bridge that gap. And again, I told you, it's your personal story. You have to see how you can actually frame it, because in my case what I said was that, okay, see guys, you do not have anyone working on machine learning in your lab right now. I have this experience, this is a new topic, I can solve these problems in a much better and efficient way, and hire me in your lab. So that is how I ended up there. So you have to see, because I don't know what your field is, what you're working on, so you really have to figure that out on your own. And once you spoke with him, maybe then you can structure your SOP according to that.
And also, generally professors don't reply, so you have to write a really good mail so that professor at least reply you, give you a call, because I have seen my supervisors. He's really busy. I don't know how he makes time for the stuff. He has to teach, he has to organize the university, he has to do the project things, he has to organize PhD. So they are doing lots of stuff. They will not give you their time easily. Right. So you have to write a really nice email so that they at least give you a reply, and you have to show, I don't know, you have to kind of show some interest in your email, that the other person understand, okay, he wants to do this thing. And there's one thing, like at least send your CV. You don't need to send SOP, or you don't need to send cover letter while you're applying, while you're asking the professor that, oh, maybe can we have a call, or this kind of or this thing. Okay, thanks. Once this thing is clear that your CV is fine, your professor is interested, then he will not. I mean, my professor, he didn't even ask for the reference letter. He was like, okay, you are good.
Yeah, here they don't ask for reference letters. I don't think so. They usually do it. Yeah.
I mean, if it's like German to German university or something like this, they just give a call to your professor. Oh, how is this guy? Because my current supervisor, he called my old supervisor. How is this guy? How is his working? Yeah. And my old supervisor was excited, and he told me, oh, this guy called me, and this is we talked, and he will be having your video call with you, so all the best. So and also it feels like here the relation between the supervisor and the PhD student is like a colleague. Yeah, it's exactly. Like a, not, I will not say friends is a like really close word, but somewhat like a friend.
I mean, even in the workspace you don't have friends here, so yeah.
So it feels like we can have a normal conversation. We don't need to fear.
I mean, the only time me and my supervisor talk is that he says, okay, let's go for lunch, and then we have lunch together in the Mensa, and that is when we actually speak to each other about project, and then we literally talk about everything.
Yeah, I never been to lunch with my supervisor. Oh. I kind of feel little.
Initially,
I'm not used to it, Yeah. So I never asked him for lunch, because I remember my old one of the PhD student, he completed his PhD, but he was really close with my supervisor. He was going out for lunch with him, doing stuff.
These guys
so it was interesting. Cool with it, yeah, so it feels like a date with the supervisor. Yeah. Okay, maybe we can do 5 more minutes stream, and then I will leave, because I need to go for workout. I have a class. Minimum percentage required in class 12 to get admission in public university for bachelor's or let's not talk about bachelor's right now. To study in German university. I hope. Okay. So this question is from Alina. Hey brother, I hope you're doing well. I'm an experienced professional in IT and I have completed my MCA in India. I'm planning to pursue a PhD in Germany, but I'm not sure how to start. Oh, I have made a video. You already have a video. Could you guide me on how to apply and where to find university? Already have a video. When you get free time, please reply. Okay, I already have answered this. There is a okay, but there is one more question. Please make a video about that scholarship in how to apply. You can hear my voice. I'm sick, but yeah, definitely I will make a video on that scholarship. That's important. In my case, in India, I have to call my MSc supervisor for his recommendation.
I don't think there is any minimum GPA required for PhD in Germany. You just have to have, I think, minimum.
I have a nice answer for this. In general, there is no CGPA requirement unless they ask for it. It's like there are so many universities, they ask for CGPA. They say like at least 3 out of 4 GPA is required. There are so many universities, there is no criteria. There are so many universities, they say at least 2 out of 4 is required. So you have to filter according to this. And if you apply to research institute, so it's not a teaching or what do you call it, like a university or something, it's a research institute, so they generally don't have the CGPA criteria. But if professor wants a CGPA criteria, then he puts it. So it all depends on supervisors, it all depends on university. There is no fixed rule that you have some CGPA requirement or anything. You have to see the program, and if there is some excellence program, they always ask for at least 3 out of 4 GPA, or you can say 8 GPA out of 10. So in that sense, you can say that.
Let me tell you a short story. So when I was applying, I applied at TU Munich for a PhD position. I sent her an email. Her name was Professor Gita.
Let's not take name.
Kuteniak. No. She's a very good researcher. And then I said, okay, I'm working on this, and I want to do a PhD with you. She said, oh, looks nice. Please send me your transcripts from bachelor's and master's. 2 days later, she sent me an email that, everything looks good, but your grades aren't up to the mark to be a member of my chair, so I'm sorry, I cannot take you.
It's same story for me. When I did my internship, after this, I had planned to continue my PhD in the same lab, but I was in the excellence program, and the thing is, my master's grades were matching to the excellence program or up to the mark, but my bachelor's grades were not like that high. And in ISA there is a thing like you get a transcript combined, bachelor's and master's together. Although I got a different transcript for each semester, and I got a certificate that master's is considered as like last 2 years and the bachelor's is like the first 3 years, but they were like, no, we want like a separate transcript, then we can consider, otherwise it's not up to the mark. That's why I could not do PhD in the same like where I did internship. So CGPA, it does matter, but you have to check university to university, and it also depends on supervisor.
It really varies. Because I told you, the whole authority here is the supervisor.
Yes.
If he wants, he can take you on 30% grades also. If he wants, he will not take you at 95% also.
Yes.
So you cannot.
So we answered this last question. How many publication do we need before applying to PhD? It's not necessary to have publication, but it's necessary to have some experience, to have some exposure to the field, to have some interest in that field, and and you must be able to prove to your supervisor that you are capable of doing that project. That's more necessary than the publication, because I also didn't have any publication when I applied for the PhD. Did you had?
I just had 2. Not
okay.
Much,
He had not much. 2 is also a number. Okay.
But just quickly, let's answer Anike in CV. Yes, you can just add it like that. 8.5 on a scale of 10.
Yeah. I mean, 8.5 is a good number. I added. If you don't have a good number, I still recommend to add CGPA in your transcript.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So now maybe we can end our stream. And it was really nice discussion, and thanks a lot, Anikesh, for asking lots of good questions.
Sticking through the whole video.
Sticking to the whole video. Exactly, you are here from 1 hour. And shout out to you, and of course shout out to other peoples also. Thanks for sticking for this long and listening to our conversation. I hope you had some good information which you can carry forward and share with your friends. If you want to spread the words, spread the words.
Right. And yeah, all the best for your application process and everything. Wish you all the best. Yeah.
Okay. All right. See you
See
next
you guys.
time. Or maybe we can wait for 15 seconds so that it at least finishes 1 hour
Maybe 1
mark.
hour, yeah.
It's always goes like when we are on call.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. It's
Let's
about
make
to
it
finish
1 hour.
1 hour. Let it do it.
Okay, guys.
All right. So it's
Bye-bye.
already 1 hour. See you soon. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao is bye bye in German, by the way. Oh, it's in France.
Choose.
Choose. Choose is German word. सुनाई देता है सब कुछ उसमें
अच्छा
अभी खत्म थोड़ी हुआ सेंसिटिव है भाई
अभी नहीं हुआ खत्म